welcome back. We have finished slicing our meats. As you can see, we have the beef on this side here, already sliced up, and we have the boneless chicken thighs that we cut in chunks. This lesson, the next in the series, is going to be on how to marinate the meat. And let's start with the beef. What we're going to do is we're going to mix this up and tenderize it. The main ingredient which causes the beef to be tender is a little bit of baking soda. You don't want to put too much or it'll be bitter. And with the baking soda we mix cornstarch, sesame oil, plain cooking oil, and water. So let's get started. I keep my cornstarch in one of these canisters with a spoon. You have to judge by how much meat you have in here as to how much cornstarch you're gonna put in there. So this is about 4 pounds of meat, and these are like heaping spoons. 2, 3. Let's go with 4 heaping spoons. Then we're gonna put just a touch of the sesame oil, about a tablespoon or so, and then oil. Regular old cooking oil. I put it in this thing. This is maybe a quarter of a cup. We may not use it all. And then water. You add maybe a quarter cup of water. And let's mix it up. Sometimes you just have to get in there with your hands and mix until you get you'll kind of get the feel for it when you have the right consistency. I'm going to add the baking soda at the last minute, and I'll show you how much to put in there. I measure it with my hand. That's about a tablespoon and a half, I'd say. You put that in there and continue to mix it up. You want the oil. The purpose of putting the oil in there is it gives the meat a nice smooth texture when you're stir frying it. When you stir fry this beef for beef and broccoli or beef with string beans, I'm going to show you that in a later lesson. But the most important thing is to get the wok very hot until it actually, you can see the carbon steel wok turn kind of white and start to smoke, and then you put your oil in there, maybe 2 tablespoons of oil, and then you would drop maybe a handful of this sliced beef in there. And the reason for that is when you get the wok very hot and then you put oil in there, the beef will not stick to your wok. So you'll get the wok white hot, you'll put the oil, 2 tablespoons of oil in there, you'll put a handful of this beef in, and then you'll put in a mixture of minced garlic and ginger and stir fry it around. Then take it out and then you'll stir fry whatever your vegetables are, add your sauce, and then at the last minute you add your beef back in. If you have the beef in there and then you put the vegetables and whatever you're going to make your sauce with, you'll lose the texture on the beef. So that's another secret. One secret is tenderizing the beef is the baking soda, and too much will make your beef bitter. So for 4 pounds of meat we use maybe a tablespoon or 2 at the most of baking soda, and there you can see the texture you wind up with. Okay, now we'll move on to the chicken. You can go from beef to chicken, but not chicken to beef, as I said before, because the chicken is a more potentially hazardous for foodborne illness. So now we're going to prepare this chicken that we cut up in chunks for frying for sesame chicken. The way that we do that is we're going to crack the eggs. This is just merely eggs, salt, and cornstarch to make this dish. And I'd say we have the same amount, maybe a little bit more, 4 to 5 pounds of boneless chicken thighs. We mix that up. This is salt, just so much. Shake it in there, you get maybe a teaspoon and a half. Okay, once you have it like this, the next part is just to add enough cornstarch until you get it to be sticky, where it will come off of your hand, but not very easily. So the texture that you want to get with this is very important. I'd say I have about a cup of cornstarch in this mixture so far. And when you do the sesame chicken, you just want to keep mixing it up. If it still looks runny like this, you just add more cornstarch until you get the right texture to it. Now I'd say I have 2 cups in here. So I had, and you see how it's starting to stick to my fingers. That's what you want. So what you're going to do to prepare sesame chicken is you're just going to heat your oil to like 350, and you're going to take the chicken like this, a handful of this chicken, and you're just going to take it one by one, separate it, and lay it in your oil. And then fry it, take it out. When you get the whole batch fried, then you're going to fry it again to crisp it up. But that's all it takes. Okay, now that I've got the workspace all cleaned up, I just wanted to make a few final notes and show you what I've done here. This is what I was telling you about making individual bags after you've marinated that round steak and tenderized it. It actually came up to 1, 2, 5 bags, which you can use in 5 different meals. And the chicken, boneless chicken that we had cut up in chunks, and we mixed for sesame chicken. This is for a get-together we're having with friends later. You could, before we've added the eggs and the cornstarch and the salt, you could have separated this into these types of bags and frozen it also, because this would be plenty for like two or 3 meals. So you can see the economy aspect of what I'm trying to teach everyone. We have enough here for 5, 6, 7 meals, and this sesame chicken that I'm going to prepare tonight for a get-together is enough for like 6 to 8 adults easily. So I just saved a little bit to show you how I do it. This is the last amount. You just put it in the plastic bag, and then you put it on the counter and you squeeze it down so it's flat. The reason for this is when you take it out to use it out of the freezer, you can just throw this in your microwave and put it on defrost for 5 minutes, or wait maybe 8 ounces. And then it'll thaw it out enough for you to just open this bag up, hold it here, and it'll slide down the side of the wok into the oil to use for a stir fry. So I hope this has helped everyone, and I hope these tips and little marinating secrets will help you. And the next lesson, we're actually going to get to work, and we're going to make a stir fry with this beef. We're going to make beef and broccoli, and also we're going to fry up this sesame chicken, and I'll show you how to make sesame chicken. So stay tuned for the next lesson in this series.